I don't know anyone who doesn't have an inner critic. It's part of our human experience. You know, we learn those voices in our heads that come in very fast and furious and sharp and negative, and they feel like they take over us at times. You know those voices. You look in a mirror and you go, oh my God, I look old. I got fat. Why would they listen to me? I sounded so stupid. Why would I think I could be creative and write something that people would listen to? I don't even know what I was thinking. And math, I'll never be good at math. That's just who I am. And the voices go on and on. You know, that inner critic. But it's not like there's something wrong with you. This is what I want you to understand. It's just that we learn, you, me, we learn to think this way, which means we can unlearn it. And I'll show you in a few minutes how. So, how did this happen? You probably know. A long time ago, you may have lived in a home where there was a lot of quick criticism coming at you, and it can feel normal. Like, Bobby, stop that. Why can't you be more like your sister? Be quiet now. You're too loud. You're too much. And we get these criticisms constantly, whether it's from our parents, from our teachers, wherever we are. And that becomes normalized. It goes into our subconscious and it becomes our reality. It's like an ongoing reel that's played in your head, and you start believing these negative things, what I call the lies, as truth. So, what happens is if you let the inner critic take over and you don't use some of the methods I'm about to teach you, you pay a big price. And that big price is living in self hate. Self hate creates anxiety. It creates living a life of self doubt, shrinking yourself, living a life of holding yourself back, and just never feeling enough. And as a result, when you live in that state, you can't become the person you're meant to be because you are blocked by this inner critic. You're living a life disconnected from your self worth, from your power, from your true self. But don't worry, there's good news, and I'm going to give it to you now. Here are some very powerful ways, things that you can do now to start releasing and healing that self-critical thoughts. First is to understand that those thoughts that come in very fast, you believe them because you repeated them over and over. But just because you repeated them over and over doesn't mean they're true. How many times have you and I repeated old wives' tales or superstitions and clearly are not true? This happens all the time. So, one powerful practice I love is learning how to connect with your higher self. The higher self is the opposite of your inner critic. Inner critic is negative and judgmental. Higher self is loving, compassionate, and is connected to the deeper truth of who you are. Your higher self already lives within you, but maybe you haven't connected with it much. We tend to connect more with the inner critic. Learning to connect to your higher self that is connected to source energy knows the real truth of who you are, knows the living unlimited, that your ability to be, do, and have is all exists. It's already there. So we want to learn how to connect with your higher self to be your consultant in life rather than your inner critic. Now we're going to do a little exercise to connect with your higher self. But if there's a part of you goes that might believe, now I don't believe I have a higher self in me. Maybe you don't believe it yet. Then use God. When I say connect with higher self, say I'm connecting with God or universe or infinite source, whatever you resonate with, do that. So let's do this little exercise and I'll show you how to start melting away that inner critic by using your higher self as a consultant. So go ahead. Now, obviously, you can't do this if you're driving, but come back to this video so you can do this, okay? So go ahead and close your eyes and take a few nice deep breaths in through your nose, out through your mouth. Just center yourself, ground yourself. We're about to connect with your higher version of you. And with your eyes closed, you can get a sense of what this higher version looks like. If you're not visual, that's okay. You can sense it. You may see an image. You may just see a light. Just get a sense that your higher self is right there in front of you. And now what you're going to do is you're going to think of that critical thought that you have, just one right now. And you're going to go in and ask these a couple of questions. This is connecting with your inner guidance, your inner intuition. And as you learn to practice this, it'll get easier and easier. So, with your eyes closed, you're telling your higher self what this negative thought is. I don't feel enough. I'm a loser, whatever it is. And now ask, higher self, how can I release this criticism? Even if it's just a little bit. Or what's one baby step I can do to release this criticism now? And then just wait for an answer. Your answer may come as a one word, it may come as a phrase, it comes in different ways. Now you can also ask if you feel like that's going a little blank because you're not used to doing this yet. You can also ask, what is the evidence to show that what I'm believing is not true? So higher self is going to give you the evidence and say, you know what, this thing isn't true because, and just wait. Now, you can go ahead and pause this video before you want to go to the rest and hear what I have to say, because you want to give yourself time. You need time to really hear the voice, that higher voice. Those two questions that I just gave you can begin to release the inner critic. But let's say you did this and you got nothing. That doesn't mean you can't connect. It just means this is a new kind of exercise. Most people are really good at listening to the negative voice. They're not really used to listening to their inner intuition, which has much more wisdom to offer us. So it's a practice. Just practice it and allow time. Now, sometimes people will do this. They don't get an answer right away, but they take a walk later and something pops, or they're in the shower. I get it in the shower or when I'm riding my bike. It's like when your mind is clear, things will pop in. So practice that. It's a powerful exercise to learn to come to this voice, the higher voice, instead of the lower voice. The second thing you can do to release your inner critic is start practicing immense gratitude on a daily basis. And you can do this so quickly, but it's so powerful. Gratitude is one of the most highest energy frequencies you can be in. And again, you are creating new neural pathways when you do this. So here's an example. Saying things like, well, that was really smart of me. I like that I did that. That was clever. I'm really proud of myself that So you're saying things that you like about yourself, appreciate about yourself. This isn't conceit. This is about loving yourself. It's so weird to me when people go, doesn't that sound conceited? I went, oh, so your inner critic sounds normal, that you're an idiot and you're stupid? We get used to the wrong things. So start practicing. You're not going to turn into this selfish, bombastic person. You're just going to be more self-loving and compassionate and a lot happier. Gratitude is such a high frequency. So what happened is the more you do that self-appreciation and recognizing you start becoming that truth rather than the inner critic. It starts to melt it away. And number 3 is to do tapping. Most of you know what tapping is. We tap and we help release whatever is blocking you. I have a special tapping that I created. It's powerful. And I put the link here so you can go to YouTube here and listen and just tap with me to release your inner critic. So those are 3 processes that you can use. I promise if you use these 3 processes regularly, your inner critic is going to melt away and you're going to be stepping in to that higher self much sooner. That's what I wish for you.